exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Todd Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling store is now open at 942 Fort Street, just a minute from anywhere in eastern Fort Smith and Chaffee Crossing. Get these red hot buys at all 5 Yeager's locations. Save $100 on a Blackstone griddle, now only $249. And save $200 on a Traeger Pro 34 wood pellet grill for only $499. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, much cooler. A high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s with a strong west-northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Mainly clear, we settle back into the upper 30s overnight, and Thursday, lots of sunshine, low 50s north, low 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Man, if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning and what's up? How you doing? All of those things here. It is a Wednesday. It's halftime, and welcome in on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson here with Matt Jones. Kristen Johnston producing for the first couple of hours. It's a beautiful day to be with everybody. And Matt, good morning and a happy Wednesday to you. It's great to be, well, I was going to say alongside you. I was there Monday. I'll be there with you tomorrow. We got a women's basketball game. And we got another poll that came out yesterday. And, man, we're going to have if this poll sticks, which of course it won't, but I'd just like to look at where some of these games might actually be played. You'd have 4 cold weather games in late December, 2 of them night games. Should be all sorts of fun. Can't wait to see it happen.
So excited. Were you surprised that BYU didn't fall out?
Well,
I think
they
that was
kinda,
my biggest surprise.
They did, but they didn't. You know, it's like they get they're still the highest. They're still a conference champion in the committee's mind. So even at
until
number,
they play Colorado,
right? Until they don't win the conference championship. So they fall out. Tennessee falls out, even though they're within the top 12. I know this is how the championship's going to be figured out next year, but I think after 2025, once you get to 26, it's going to be a whole, I wouldn't say like a new process, but it's going to be different than this. I don't know if the conference championships will have exactly the same weight that they do now. I don't know if the amount of access to the playoff will be the same as it is right now for some of the other leagues, or if there'll be more automatic bids for leagues like the SEC and the Big Ten. But, man, I mean, I really think the more you look at it, and it's going by games that we've watched, because I watched the Oregon-Ohio State game. I've watched a couple of Alabama games. I saw Arkansas against Ole Miss. I saw Georgia in some of their biggest wins. I think those are the 5 best teams right now that are playing football in college. I think the national champion comes from one of these 5 teams. That would mean right now that a national champion would be ranked 10th in the poll. And this is with Georgia completing their SEC schedule already. So, I mean, what did you think of what you saw from this poll?
You confused me yesterday because I didn't think that, which it's not hard to do, but I didn't think that if you got to the SEC championship game, which if A&M wins out, they're in the SEC championship game. Is that not correct? Like
that is true. Yes.
I guess they're able to jump up, but I think Georgia's a top 3. Like if Georgia was to play Notre Dame, Indiana, Penn State, or Ohio State, they've already crushed it. I mean, I'm going down the list. I'm going to take Georgia. Like there's just when it comes down to a one-game scenario, I like Texas. I like Oregon. Those would probably be my 4 right now as far as Georgia, Texas, Oregon. Those 3 I feel pretty confident about.
Where did I confuse you? Where is it?
Well, you're saying that if they make the SEC championship game, it's not a lock to make the college football playoff. That's the whole thing that confuses me, because how is if it's Texas versus Texas A&M and A&M beats Texas, does Texas fall out? You know, is it one of those where it's like an actual play-in game?
I don't know.
Or
if
Georgia, let's say Georgia makes it to play Texas and Georgia loses that one, so they would be 1-1 with them. So then there's no way Georgia they're going to. What I thought was, Phil, I didn't think they held it against them. I thought it was a standalone game. I thought the Big Ten championship, the SEC championship game, if you make it, that means you're second because there's no divisions. That means you finish second in the conference. You have to make the playoffs.
They held it against Georgia last year, didn't they?
They did. They did, but that was in a 4-team playoff, so I think it's a different thing. The thing that you said there, Matt, that I think holds the most weight is don't hold it against them. By making the conference championship game, why would you hold it against a team with a loss? All I was saying yesterday is that it's not written into the structure of the playoff that if you make a conference championship game, then you get an automatic bid. I think in our way of thinking, now it's not the same in the ACC, it's not the same in the Big 12, it's not the same in any other conference except the SEC and the Big 10, that if you do make it, like you're saying, if you're essentially the second best team in that league, and a lot of it's going to be based on tiebreakers, those should mean something. Well, then, yes, you should be viewed as one of, we really look at it as being one of the top 2 teams in that league, so they might as well get the bid anyway. But all I'm saying is that the standings of the league decide what happens and who plays in the championship game. What if, and it's just a scenario, what if Georgia plays a horrible game in good old-fashioned hate and loses to Georgia Tech, but still somehow because of the tiebreakers makes the SEC championship game and then loses that. So then there's 4 losses. There's 4 losses for Georgia. Would they get the bid to the playoff 12? You know, in our way of thinking, yes, because he finished in second place. But then on the other hand, it's like a loss to Georgia Tech.
No, if you lose to Georgia, lose to
Right.
Georgia Tech, you got to hold that against them.
But in the future, I think there's a guarantee.
I think
if you
Clemson's
make the
gonna
championships.
I think Clemson's going to be in the playoff 12. I think they're
You
going to
think
win
they'll
the
beat
ACC.
Miami?
I think they're going to win the ACC. Clemson will be going on the road somewhere, but that's what I was going to ask you. Who outside the playoff 12 right now would you say is a lock to make it, because they're not in? You know, would it be A&M? Would it be BYU? Would it be Colorado? Mine's going to be Clemson. I think Clemson, when it's all said and done, I'm not saying they're going to win the national title. Clemson will be in the playoff 12.
The one I wonder about A&M. I was just thinking about this because of how many teams they would have to jump over in order to make it into the 12, even with just a win against Texas.
And then they're playing in the SEC championship game, though, if they beat Texas.
Yeah, I mean, are we really figuring out championships like this still? We're still doing this. We're going to still be doing this until the end of time in college sports. I want the structure that this college football student, whatever it is called, is going to do, or wants to do, but probably won't. The arguments, I guess, can be, just sort of ish good for college football or college sports. I just get tired of it. I get tired. Can't you see this? Do you not understand that? All you people over here are morons. The people over here are stupid idiots, and it just becomes really tiring. I just have a sense that Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia are really the best 5 teams in the country right now. You mentioned Clemson. Clemson gets in. What already happened against Georgia? Look, I know that was a couple of months ago. Maybe they're playing better right now. But I don't know. It's just...
That would be like, because when I look at the Big Ten, see Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, that's just, so you're telling me 4 of the best teams in the country come from the Big Ten? I just don't believe it. Yeah, I don't believe it.
I'm not telling you that. And here's where the difference is, because my question is, does anybody really question where the best college football is played in the United States? How many years in a row now has the SEC had the most players drafted into the NFL? What is it, 12, 13 years in a row? Even at the start of the season, the NFL season, there were 79 more players who came out of the SEC than any other conference. That's more than a full NFL roster right there. So is this about the best teams, how they're constructed, the talent on the team, all the measurables that might not necessarily have to do with on-field success? Or is it really about how teams perform relevant to this ridiculous structure that we have in college football of a confederated enterprise with bloated conferences that make it even more difficult to tell who belongs in this playoff 12 because of the way that they've scheduled these teams. And that's up to the conferences too. So what does it mean to you? Is it about the best teams, or is it about the teams that have actually performed within the goofy ass structure that we call college football?
I'm fine with 4 SEC teams getting in and 4 Big Ten teams getting in. Another game that's going to be interesting, Phil, is the Army-Notre Dame game. I know we talked to Bill King about this yesterday, but I think Army might actually have a legitimate chance to beat Notre Dame. If Army beats Notre Dame, wins out, do they jump in to the playoff 12?
See, and then there's still a championship game for Army to play.
Oh, they got to play. Then they got to play Navy later too. Yeah.
They play Navy. The Navy game I don't think is supposed to have anything to do with the playoff 12. I think that's like the one college football game in Division I that isn't supposed to be anything, any part of it. But the American Championship game is, and Army probably would have to play Tulane. And by the way Tulane has played recently, they'd be the favored team. So
they got the best running back in that conference. Malachi Hughes is a G. He's going to play on Sundays.
But I was looking at this, too. So if you look at what the first-round games would be, and the first-round games start exactly a month from today, Friday, December 20th, there's a night game. You'll be playing in Columbus, Ohio, South Bend, Indiana, State College, Pennsylvania, and Bloomington, Indiana. You know how freaking cold it is in those cities a month from now? That's why Indianapolis plays indoors, That's why Detroit plays indoors in the NFL. Now, I come from a city that doesn't have a domed stadium. State College is in that state. They don't play football in that part of the state at that time of the year because it snows, and it can snow a lot. This is going to be comical. It will be comical if this is the way that it shakes out. Alabama going to travel to Notre Dame is a beautiful thought. I actually love this idea. For the Crimson Tide to come out of the relative warmth of the South and go up literally right next to the lake where it is going to be probably 33 degrees at kickoff. We've been asking for this. So you get a night game on the Friday, you get a night game on the Saturday in the college football playoff. So somebody's going to freeze their butt off, and it's going to be fans, and it's going to be players, and I guess it'll be entertaining. It will be. It'll be beautiful, but it is just a completely ridiculous structure that we operate in college sports. Halftime today, we'll have Fisherman Clay Henry with us at 12 noon. We'll have him for a couple of hours as always. And can't get Grant Hall today because he's got something going on. So we'll have him on Friday instead. And Dudley Dawson will be joining us in just a moment.
Dudley.
Plus, lots of time for calls and texts. Dudley, Celtics got the big win over the Cavs yesterday. Snapped that winning streak and showed them who's the real champion, huh?
Yeah, I always like when Dudley gives us some of his time and comes on the show. He's cool.
All right, so it's Dudley Dawson in just a moment. Stay with us. It's halftime.
The only green I like's in my quarterback, and that's Taylor.
This is halftime.
You can't watch TV in your hotel room.
I don't turn it on. I'm not interested. I got other things to do.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How long are you going to keep making the same mental mistakes? I mean, over and you know what the definition of insanity is, don't you, bro? You know what that is, don't you?
Weekdays from 6 till 9.
Everybody's job's tough.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Even though the holidays are almost here, there is still time to get results for your body with a personal trainer right here in the River Valley from Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill. Your choice for the results you want. Black Friday BOGO personal training specials, and new members get the rest of the year for free. Even more Black Friday specials to choose from. Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill on 71 North. Ask about the giveaway from our partner, First Form and Vortex Optics. Anytime Fitness on Rye Hill, ready to help you train for the body you deserve. Anytime Fitness, Rye Hill.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 original bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Did your spouse move out and take the Christmas decorations with her? Mock Legal Solutions is here to help with your divorce and your decorations. On Friday, November 22nd, ESPN Radio will be live all day from our conference room in Fort Smith. Tune in or drop in for the morning rush, halftime, and wrap up the day with the ESPN equivalents of Cousin Eddie, Ruskin, and Zach. Sign up on hitthatline.com to register for our Christmas giveaway. Walmart gift cards and one fully decorated Christmas tree will be given away. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You serious, Clark? Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Appreciate Dudley Dawson joining us today on Halftime. Man, Dudley, you got a lot going on with your teams. If we just separate Arkansas for a quick moment, you get the Dallas Cowboys can't even compete at home.
They're not even Texas's team. Not America's team, not even Texas's team.
The Cardinals, former manager, nearly won a manager of the year. And your Celtics showed Cleveland, who really might still be the best team in the NBA. So good day to have you on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Remaining the heavyweight champion till this point, with the Celtics. I'm looking forward to the youth movement because what we were doing wasn't working. So let's see something else there. So.
Are you a fan, Dudley, of this in-season tournament? And now, so when they play this in-season tournament, do these count as regular season games? But once you lose, you're out.
Yep, that's the case.
So Cavs are out, and Boston's moving on.
It's a pool play deal.
Oh, it's a pool play. Okay.
Yeah. So the Cavs will keep at it, but I think the top two teams from each subdivision or whatever they call it, it's okay. My wife is getting blinded by the courts that they're putting out.
Oh
there.
My goodness! I just saw that. That looks worse than Boise State's field. I mean, that's bad. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and but it's fun. I know Otis. Kirk, my buddy, really loves it because his Lakers were able to win something last year through that. So he's they're undefeated this year in the Cup. So it's okay. I mean, I know why the players love it. They get more money.
I guess that's what it's all about in some cases. I'm going to bring this up late. I'm going to bring this up later when it comes to about more money for players and a conversation about recruiting. And you dig in on the recruiting stuff too. Some of the photos from basketball games at Bud Walton Arena don't look great. We know that when it comes to, I think, Friday against Little Rock, I think you'll have a great crowd. I think Monday had a lot to do with weather and maybe a few other factors. Does that hurt any recruit? Like if there's a player that's looking, it's like, well, I'm going to play for Cal and make this kind of money, or I'm going to play for, just to throw it out there, Pope in Kentucky and make this kind of money, or any of the other teams. I mean, is the atmosphere in the building still or the attendance still a factor for players? Because so much of it seems to have to do with money and who can get you to the league, and Arkansas's got both of those right now.
You give them $1 million, they wouldn't matter whether they played for one person or 19,000. I think it's, certainly it's a factor, but it's way down there on the list. It is, I think somewhat comical, also ridiculous at times that everything Kentucky does and everything that Arkansas does is compared now that Cal's here. I mean, Kentucky beat Lipscomb last night. They beat them by more than Arkansas did. So Kentucky must be better. Kentucky's got more people coming to games. They must be better. It is. If it wasn't a rivalry, the fans have made it a true rivalry now, and that's not even playing each other till February.
Hey, who's the best player? So I've only seen them play against Baylor because I don't have SEC Plus, Dudley, and I'm looking forward to watching them November 28th against Illinois. Who is this team's best player? Like who are we riding? Is it Adou Thiero?
He has been the best so far this season. Now I think they thought John L. and also Adou from Tennessee would be their big guys. Boogie Flan obviously was impressive against Kansas, but I think as you were saying, he has been the best to this point, and certainly has lifted his draft status in these mock drafts that I've seen. He's been very consistent. The other two that I mentioned have not been fully healthy, but I expect them to get better as the season goes along. So, I think they're going to have plenty of stars out there. It's just a matter of meshing and playing well. And I think, Matt, these things. They're going to have to shoot better outside against zones and all that. It's just got to happen. You can have all the athleticism and all the bucket getters, but you got to make them at every level, not just inside, not just on the fast break. And I think they need to have probably John L. step up and be the outside shooter that they really need to have, and Wagner and Plant as well.
It really seems more than anything now. It's just the injuries over the summer and how that's affected their ability to practice together, and just sort of returning slowly from some of these injuries. And then, of course, you get Trevin injuring the ankle a couple of games ago, and that it's just it just seems right now it's swimming uphill, or upstream, running uphill, whatever you want to put it.
He's about to get oft injured. Put in front of his name. He really needs to stay healthy, both for this team and for his professional pursuits. So he's got to get back healthy. Ankles, there's a difference between injuries and being hurt. I know they're monitoring the situation, but you're going to have to tough it out sometimes. And we'll see if that continues to happen. Now, I do think that everybody's now beginning to question. You're going to play 8, 9 guys. You're going to bring in some guys that know they are going to play at the end of the bench. And now when you only recruited really 3 front court guys, now you're having to go small. That helped them the other night, but I don't think it will help them in the end. Once they get into SEC action.
Hey Dudley, did you check out? Did you see the college football playoff committee? Have you seen the playoff 12 and kind of what are your thoughts? And Phil, I think Phil said he had 5 teams he thinks can win it. I'm at 4. I think Oregon. I think Georgia. I think Ohio State, Texas. I think those 4. I really like those 4 teams. Who do you like as far as how would you handicap? Who are your top 3 or 4 teams?
Well, I think those are good names. I'm still not counting Alabama out, although obviously lost to Vanderbilt earlier this season, and another team that I really like, and because I think Ashton Genty's going to be the Dallas Cowboys running back from next year on, is Boise State. I'm not ruling them out. I've watched them enough that if they get the right breaks, and let me just throw this out there. If Rhett Lashlee is able to get SMU, through and win the ACC title, they'll have a bye in that first round. I mean, right now Miami would be sitting there in that first round with a bye. I think it's a very interesting feel. I think that I was kind of curious and didn't know about it at first, but now I think I'm very excited that the people who actually win the conference titles are going to get the byes.
So you're good with that? Would you? So you'd be good with it? You'd be good with a group of 5? Because right now that's what happens. I mean, right now Boise State gets a bye, And that just sounds a little bit wild. I still don't think that's the way it's going to go down. But to me, it just feels that nobody planned for this. I don't think I understand it was written into this, but I don't think anybody expected that would happen. And if it does, I don't think the SEC or the Big Ten or any other leagues want that. I think they'll do what they can to change the access for Group of Five moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. But I've loved chaos since it was the Soviet agency on Maxwell Smart back in the day. So chaos, I envelop chaos. So I hope that happens.
So then you're perfectly good with the way that we choose a football college champion, right? Better than the NFL? Or is it because an agent of chaos is an agent of entertainment?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, I've been around now for 61 years. Status quo doesn't work for me. So.
All right. That's all right. Well, what do you think about coming up this Louisiana Tech game and what we might see here? Obviously, we're all expecting a victory, but I think some people are a little worried just about a letdown after putting forth effort against a major, national champion contender and an arch rival and everything, and just kind of hope you see the kind of performance that you got out of them last week, but just move the ball a little bit more because La Tech can play defense. Yeah, we're going to see what happens here. I don't know if this is going to be their Alamo or not. They have to win this football game. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You can't go into that last one against Missouri because you've not had success against them, and that be your chance to get into a bowl. I did think it was interesting, Coach Pittman, when they was asked about what does it mean to get in the bowl, he said, well, it's better than not getting in there. And that was an interesting answer. That is the right thing. You want those 20 extra practices and all of that. But to me, you had better win this ball game. It won't be a great win, but it would be a horrendous loss.
Do you we've had a lot of talk. I don't think that you start the backup quarterback, but how much do you want to see the backup quarterback in this game?
I tell you what, I wanted to see more last week because 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, against Ole Miss, because they weren't going to win that ball game.
Got out of hand,
kept sending him out there, and I think they've got him some good experience this year. But you could use more, and let's just be honest about it. Talon is a deer in headlights back there. Sometimes he can make great plays, but man, I might be running scared too. But you can see it. He's got happy feet back there a lot of times.
I want to keep you on here while I bring this up with Matt Dudley, because I planned on bringing this up in the next segment, and it's the sacks that Green might be responsible for here. I mean, not seeing the hole where there may be room, kind of running backwards. I mean, there were a lot of sacks end up on the offensive line. It's just the quarterback is the one who ends up losing the yards if you go backwards and try to get away with them. Does he look, he's not quite as elusive, or is it just is it head on a swivel? Because they're not all on the offensive line. I could see about, 3 of them at least that may have been on Green, if not 4 against Texas. Yeah, I think that, he has tremendous belief and confidence in his feet, and the plays that he was making earlier in the season, he's not really making now because, as you said, his head is on a swivel. I think it is a combination of 3 things. The offensive line maybe not being as good as we thought it had improved, him starting to get the happy feet and run away, and having to keep Luke Haas and others in to block, eliminates a big weapon. I feel sorry for that kid. He should be seeing the ball a lot more, but he's having to stay in and block, and for whatever the offense hadn't run through him as much as I thought it might.
Is that where you so when we're looking at portal needs and who's a player you would protect on this Arkansas team that you absolutely don't want to see somebody come and snag? And then that being said, Dudley, we got to go get some offensive linemen this year in the portal.
Yeah, you definitely have to. Patrick Kutas is going to be a good one down the line, but he's had trouble staying healthy. When he's in there, it seems to be a better fit. So yeah, you've got to get some offensive linemen. And I would love to pinpoint some areas, but here's my problem. I don't know who's going to leave this thing. You know, Braylon Russell, I think, is a guy you have to get
You got to
back.
circle him. I'm with you there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he showed the potential. He's had injuries and stuff. And I think you have to get Haas back, especially because you're going to, you know, you've had a couple of tight ends go out the door, and I don't really want to discuss that, but neither does Coach Pittman, it sounds like. But I think you've got to keep Luke Haas here, and you've got to really keep Malachi Singleton and some of those defensive backs here. You know, especially Jalen Braxton, who I haven't got to see play much this year, obviously. But he was a dude last year, and you need to have as many dudes back there in the secondary as you can, especially in this league.
It's like every week, you should kind of wait. Is this the week that Braxton will play? Is this the week he's going to get back to practice? He was running in a pool, I think it was a couple weeks ago. Now Sam says maybe not even until the bowl game, if that. It's just this has been the injury we've been watching all season long, and we've been thinking maybe it's next week, maybe it's next week. It turns out to be this is the biggest injury the team has faced this year.
I agree. I totally agree, because there you can have one component in the secondary and put everybody in different spots, and it makes it better for them. I mean, you know, they've moved Miguel Mitchell around, and I think he's in a spot now in the safety with the three high safeties they played last week. I think he's in the right spot for him, but you had to throw him in at quarterback and stuff when you were having other injuries there. It's less. I think this team is better than it was last year, but it still has not, I think, scratched the potential it should have.
Dudley, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you coming on. See you tomorrow at the women's game against Oral Roberts.
Sounds good. I hear they're going to do line changes 5 at a time. For ORU and Arkansas State have both scored over 100 points these last few games, so it's going to be interesting.
Thanks,
Can't
Dudley.
wait to see it. Appreciate Dudley's time today. It's Dudley Dawson from Hogville. He's been an outstanding pinch hitter here on Halftime for a good long while.
Charcuterie board. That was a charcuterie board of discussions right
of
there.
information.
That was pretty. We were all over the map right there. It was cool.
A smorgasbord charcuterie board of sports.
Charcuterie.
It is one of those words that's like, say, cinnamon or charcuterie 10 times fast. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah, if I see it spelled phonetically, then it's easy, and then you're like, whatever.
Could you say Nacho Average Wednesday 10 times fast? That's what's going on at Joe's Grilling Cantina today, Matt. $1 off all nachos. It includes the 3-cheese carnita nachos, $1 off all beers, draft in bottles. Get over there for Saturday for Arkansas football. Half-price apps, half-price taps all throughout the game. And endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias. Even going to have $2 Busch Light drafts. Joe's Grill, where it's at to watch football on game days. 74th Street, Fort Smith, right across from Harps. joesfortsmith.com. You can call us. You can text us. 877-377-6963. Stay with Halftime. We are right back.
I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind is affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
877-377-6963. Anytime you want to call or text here on Halftime. Brandon texted in. He's got questions about the basketball team. He says you can have his login for ESPN Plus if you want it.
It makes me liable. It's all right.
JT says if Arkansas ever got the privilege of playing a college football playoff game in a northern city with weather like you might see in Columbus, South Bend, state college, Bloomington, Indiana, and it doesn't care how much money he's got. He wants to sit that one out. Look, I spent 2 years as a student at Indiana University. I was there in December in Bloomington, Indiana, and it was not comfortable at all. At all. Now, we would walk from our house to the basketball games, but that's because we all wanted to go to the basketball games. When you spent your only dollars on student tickets at Assembly Hall, you used those tickets. But it wasn't fun. It didn't feel good. I wouldn't want to play any football in that, and I didn't then. But then again, I'm not a football player. Cecil is with us here on Halftime. Hey, Cecil, always great to hear from you. What's up?
Hey, good morning, fellas.
So
I had to get you
got
out
to the
my
phone
pocket.
quick there, Cecil. Good job.
Yeah. I didn't know you was from Indiana.
I'm not. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I went to school 2 years at Indiana University before I realized if I stayed there any longer, I didn't know how much longer I would live.
Okay, well, since we on Indiana's watch right now, man. Hey, I was looking at the brackets, and like you and Matt was talking about, they got it all screwed up. But it is what it is. You just got to get in there and play and win the game. I honestly think, I would think it would be if Alabama get by Georgia, it'll be an SEC championship. That top bracket, you see how they got it fixed. Texas, man, I don't think Texas is gonna go far at all. I just don't think that. Georgia beat Penn State. I'm looking for Ole Miss to go all the way. I'm riding with Ole Miss. I'm definitely riding with them. And like I say, you see how they got it? They actually got the rankings flipped because there's no way that the Big Ten has 4 top 5 teams. Ain't no way. And that, I woke up.
Cecil, I don't think they do either. It's just if they're like I don't have a problem with Indiana at number 5 if they're 10-0 and they've beaten everybody that's been on their schedule by 1,000,000 points. Or 5 against Michigan, but a road win in Michigan for me is still impressive, even if they're not the Michigan of the last few years. I don't have a problem with Indiana at 5 because this next game is all that matters for them. I guess the issue would be what happens if they get blown out, because it doesn't look good to have a team in the playoff if they get blown out at all by anybody. So I don't think that 4 of the top 5 teams playing college football right now are in the Big Ten. And I'll tell you this too, Cecil, I don't think the committee members think that either. I just think they've ranked it this way.
Right. Miami, they're going to lose the first round. And it's the thing about this feeling, Matt. The SEC is the strongest, the best conference in America. Just like y'all said, all NFL players come from the SEC. Basketball, everything is the SEC, track everything. But they have to keep these guys word of mouth, at least talking about them. Now they ranking them like this. And it's just Miami, it is no way. They're going to lose the first round. Then they get a bye. They got blessed with that.
The outrage, or maybe outrage isn't the right word. It was outrage last year with the whole Florida State being left out and everything. This is a feature of the system. They want this. College football obviously wants this. Otherwise, they would figure out something else that makes more sense. They want the outrage. They want the anger. They want the discourse, no matter how nasty it can get sometimes. So I don't know. I want it to all change. I don't think it will, because I think those who make the decisions about this, as long as they get a certain amount of teams into the playoff, they'll be. And look, the only people that really matter in this are Tony Petitti of the Big Ten and Greg Sankey of the SEC. They are the Le Mans team that's switching every couple of hours in the 24-hour drive. They're the ones that are driving the car, and the other commissioners are just sort of on the coattails for as long as the SEC and Big Ten allow them to be there.
Okay, fellas, y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you, Cecil. Appreciate that. There's no argument in the NFL as to who makes the playoffs. There's no argument in baseball. There's a little bit about, win your division. It should mean something and all of that, but it all makes sense. It all makes sense. They have the massive amounts of arguments if you did it by polls in professional sports. That's why all this, and people still argue when they go to ESPN's website during Major League Baseball season, NFL season, NBA, and all of that, and ESPN ranks them through the power index as if that's supposed to mean something. They'll argue about that because I guess we really do like arguing. partially what it's all about. Matt, there's no way the committee thinks that 4 of the top 5 teams are these Big Ten teams. I just think they've ranked them that way because they're ranking them within the structure of what your record is and the structure that they've put together. I don't think to the committee it's necessarily about the best teams, scouting and looking at Vegas, lines and all of that. I think it's a matter of here's the structure that has been built for us. These are the guidelines we have to go by, and we're going to go by that. That's how I view it.
Oregon, Indiana is going to be the Big Ten title game. So Ohio State and Penn State looks like they're in. That's so, yeah. If
you think Indiana's going to beat Ohio State?
Well, I forget. Indiana plays Ohio State Saturday.
Funny, yesterday,
right.
I didn't see this on the show. I just saw some reaction to it. Apparently, Joey Galloway recommended that Indiana bench their quarterback for the Ohio State game so that there's no chance of them winning because they shouldn't want to play in the Big Ten championship game. So there you get, and Lane Kiffin's talking about it. Why would we want to play in this championship game? I think there are plenty of SEC coaches that view it that way.
It's going to take on the baseball tournament nature. That it's really kind of, I don't know. I just don't think you should hurt a program by making it to your title game. That shouldn't be that shouldn't hurt. But yeah, you don't want anybody to get hurt, and nobody cares. Which I would. I mean, if you're playing, you would want to win the SEC championship. You'd want to win the Big Ten championship, but you want to win the national championship.
I think you'd be desperate to get a bye, but at the same time, you may be right about that. It has a little bit of a feel of the SEC baseball tournament, as if to say, why are we even going through this exercise? It doesn't mean anything. And I think the championship football game will mean something because you get a bye. The baseball tournament, look, I mean, it is what it is. It has really not that much meaning at all, unless the coach puts a lot of emphasis on it, which LSU does, and I've seen Dave do it once or twice, and I think you kind of hit on something there. And I don't think you want these championship games to feel like they're meaningless to the people that may be involved in them. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts on that. Don't forget about the best deals of the year on all model year 2023 and select 2024 Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors at WT Equipment right now. They have great offers running through New Year's Eve. You can choose 0% financing for up to 72 months or take up to $8,500 in cash back. Even for a limited time, you get a free loader with your purchase. It's the best deals of the year at Value Bonanza right now at WT Equipment in Springdale, and there's 7 other locations. Again, these offers end December 31st. Quick break. Back to wrap up hour number 1 after this.
Hasta la vista, baby. This is halftime.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey! No sleep till.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I'm 47 years old. Anybody around my age that wants to feel old right now, we're playing Beastie Boys because it's Mike D's birthday. He's 59 years old. That's called being a Beastie senior boy. That's I can feel the wrinkles just forming right here. I had a text in from Dave and Branson. Everybody that is an Arkansas fan, I think that they'll usually point to the Liberty Bowl against East Carolina in 2010 as maybe the coldest game Arkansas has ever played. He says, I don't care how cold it gets up in the north, nothing can be as cold as that Liberty Bowl. It was 29 degrees January 2nd, 2010 in Memphis. South Bend, Indiana, that day, -4.
Yeah, I was actually at that game in Memphis. The coldest game was we had like a 10:30 kickoff in Dallas for the Cotton Bowl. Everybody that was at that game, that's pretty much top on the list. That would have been like 2001, 2002, the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. That one was woof.
So out of the four cities that would be hosting based on the rankings right now, like South Bend and State College, I think would be pretty miserable places to be. State College is in the mountains in Pennsylvania. I've been up there. only a couple times. A lot of friends that went to school there, and it snows, and it's in a higher elevation, and it's going to be freezing if Penn State were to host Georgia on December 21st. Let's just say it's a night game. It's crazy to think about this because you've got the bowl structure, and the rest of the playoff structure is as such so that you're always playing indoors or you're playing in a warm weather climate, except if it's the first round and the rankings are the way they are right now, because then all 4 games have the chance, and there's no guarantee that it would be, but have a chance that they would literally be in freezing temperatures. And then you get to go to your climate control the next week in the Peach Bowl or in Jerry's World and whatever, and it's just a little bit odd to think of it that way. We move into hour number 2 of halftime in just a moment. We'll have fisherman Clay Henry with us for the remainder of the show. You can join us over the phone or on the text line at 877-377-6963. Going to be a lot to get to with Clay and with Matt, and Seaburger Movie Unit still in the producer's chair. So stay with us. Halftime is right back.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we're inside of Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. I'm with my guy, Josefa. Today, it was the French toast turkey melt, but other daily specials every single day.
Yeah, Ty, we just kind of want everybody to know that we're not just sandwiches around here. We have all kinds of different specials. There's always something different right here at Lily's Sandwich Shop.
Award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Don't believe me? Talk to Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too, and so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
The Study Basketball Training has moved to the Hangout in Fort Smith. With basketball training classes from kindergarten through high school, there is a spot for your athlete. Depending on your skill set and training needs, the Study offers 3 class options: fundamentals, advanced, and 94 feet. You can also work on your explosiveness with Vertimax training or perfect your shot on the Dr. Dish machine. The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thestudyhoops.com for more details. Fitness, sports, and now the Study Basketball Training. Let's hang out.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, much cooler. A high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s with a strong west-northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Mainly clear, we settle back into the upper 30s overnight, and Thursday lots of sunshine, low 50s north, low 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that respect it. ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I put my heart down. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Into our second hour on halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. This is Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. We'll be welcoming in the one and only Hall of Famer, Clay Henry, who's part of Hogs Sports Network these days. We'll bring him on in just a moment. Things I want to get into during this hour while we have Clay here. There is a new system president for the University of Arkansas. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Jay Silveira came from Texas A&M. I wonder how that can affect Arkansas football and Arkansas athletics overall. There's been a media sports trade that I think is pretty interesting. And we got first ballot Hall of Famers potentially on for Canton amongst the semifinalists. And Matt, that's always something that I know you have interest in when it comes time for Hall of Fame. You got Eli Manning, you got Terrell Suggs, Vinatieri, Luke Kuechly. They'll pare it down in about a month or so, and we should know by January.
Luke Kuechly, in my opinion, should be a first ballot. I think he was the best linebacker in the league for a little bit when it was Ray Lewis, then it was Luke Kuechly, middle linebacker. Dude's an absolute just beast. Now, does Manning get in on the royalty factor? The fact that the Manning name is royalty, does he get in on the first ballot is my question, because we all know he's going in. But does it matter necessarily? I mean, it doesn't matter for first ballot, but do you think Eli gets in on the first ballot?
Let's bring in Clay here. Clay, it's always great to have you. We'll have you for the remainder of the show. I've always felt like there's a difference between a first ballot Hall of Famer and a Hall of Famer. It's difficult to like separate those who are glorified in a shrine like that. But if you go on the first ballot, to me that says best of the best of the best. I don't view Manning that way.
No, I mean his claim to fame is 2 Super Bowls, and without that, and maybe with just one, you look at him differently. And he had flashes of brilliance and then long flashes of average, in my opinion. And I think if you look at what the Giants did in his
tenure,
just the narrow glory years, that was defense.
Oh, that defensive line, yeah. O.C. Umeura, Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
That defensive line was.
I mean, they were giving up 10 points. I mean, I could be totally off, but that's the way I remember him. Those were defensive teams, and he would do enough in a few big games to carry them through.
Was Dan Campbell on that team? Is that right? Was him and Strahan? Were they? I think he might have been on one of those Super Bowl teams.
That might be right. But you don't take it away from him, but I'm just saying that's I don't put him in the same category as those first ballot Hall of Famers, Phil, to answer your question.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that I view it too. And I think the 2 Super Bowl wins.
He's going to get in. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get in, and it's who they beat in those 2 Super Bowls. I think is also part of it.
Considered the best team ever in the NFL was one of the teams he beat.
Aren't there only 4 quarterbacks who've won 2 Super Bowls that are not in Canton? 3 of them aren't even eligible yet, or maybe 2 of them aren't eligible. 3 of them aren't eligible yet because Manning is one of them. Roethlisberger and then Mahomes. Otherwise, it's Jim Plunkett. And I can't for the life of me really think why he wouldn't get in. Well, Brady and
another one, yeah.
And that'll. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we could just go ahead and put him in if we want to.
Maybe they'll get the same guy that did D-Way's statue to do his bust for Canton.
Oh gosh. Maybe we could get Charlie to maybe sculpt it for him. We got Charlie here with us. 877-377-6963. Charlie, I don't know if you could probably do better than the Dwayne Wade bust, though. Then now that I think of it, sculpting is actually a rather difficult art to perfect.
And Phil, it's not an art that I would never even try. That is not the tuner's specialty. He can't draw a straight line. You think I'm going to be able to sculpt somebody's face?
Okay, there's not a lot of straight lines on the human body, but it's okay.
That's true. And I mean, I get your point, but no, I would have a harder. No, I don't. Phil, I don't want to do that. Imagine this. Imagine me trying to sculpt your face, Phil. I don't want to do this. I don't want to make you look like you're 125 years old or something. God, no, I would never do
just
that.
Just make me look like I'm Joe Rogan, and everybody will think it's me anyway.
Well, there you go. But
what do you got today, Charlie?
You guys, you just brought up the Hall of Fame, nominee or the guys that could get in. You don't they always pick at least one special teams guy, like no matter what, like that's, and you called out Vinatieri, right?
I don't think they always pick a special team.
No, they don't. They in fact, they do their best to ignore special teams players.
Vinatieri should get in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's. I mean, you get every once in a while there's a Stenerud or somebody like that they're like, okay, we're going to put him in. But it's rare. They just like, oh no special. Let's get real football players.
You got Ray Guy as far as and I think
deserving.
I think
punter.
Maynard might be. But to your point, I don't know another punter. When's the last time a punter has went into the Hall of Fame? I don't know if it's happened since I've been alive.
What about return guys?
Devin Hester went in last year.
Yeah,
I think
but that's a rare thing too, right?
Ray Guy is the only punter.
Ray Guy's the only one. Yeah,
that's it. Had to have was the award named after him before he got in Canton. Anyway, but he's the only one. I don't know how many kickers there are, but Vinatieri is going to be the next one.
I'd use if we were doing returns, Clay, I'd just put Barry Sanders out there beside him. I'd be like, kick it to Barry or Devin Hester. We'll be all right.
Barry Sanders is as good as there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's a little bit of an interesting conversation when you look at also a first ballot guy that's for baseball. Billy, is he? No, he's not first ballot, but he didn't get in last year. Billy Wagner. I think some voters have trouble voting for someone that's that they view as a one-inning specialist, no matter how good he was, unless it was Mariano Rivera, because you just don't see too many closers that get in. I think they might be viewed. Look, there's more than one closer in Cooperstown. But
Sutter's in there, right? Bruce Sutter?
Yeah, he's in there. Quisenberry, I think, is in there too. It's just not as many. Eckersley is too, but he was a starter as well. It's just I think there's a discount in voters' eyes when there's any kind of a specialty, whether you're a kicker, whether you're a punter.
There is with
whether
me.
You're a relief pitcher.
There is with me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense then. Got to get your thought on. Well, we haven't talked to you since the Texas game.
What game?
Look, the last Saturday at Razorback Stadium. That game, the one we were talking about all last week.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting game, and first of all, we covered this Monday on the Morning Rush, and Tommy and Ty, just went on and on, the different offense and defensive situations. I said, wait, let's cover the whole game, because I thought in the first half it was definitely a field position game. Defenses were dominating, and Arkansas's special teams were giving up 10, 15, and 20 yards a pop. They were running kickoffs back that should have been fair caught, shanking punts. I mean, it's the old John L. Smith line. What special teams? It's one-play battles for giant chunks of land. And when you can't move the ball, those 15-yard mistakes over and over and over is a disaster for just didn't have good field position to run the kind of offense they want to run against that kind of defense. You don't want to take risk backed up to your own goal line, just like you saw what happened against against Ole Miss. But it's and LSU, the short field, you make a turnover there. I think that the rest of the game went about like I thought it would be. I thought Texas would dominate with their defense, and they did. And you get to the end of the game, and 78 out there at left tackle. They went left, right down the field. Landon Jackson did a great job until that point, but that they caved on that drive, and it was all to the left behind that dude, and he's going to make a lot of money. Kelvin Banks, I think is his name.
Yeah, the other tackle too, I think, is a first-round.
He's good, but
Were
he's
you
good at that
surprised-
left tackle.
Were you
No.
surprised that Taylon Green had more rushes than our running backs? How hard our running backs were running?
There just weren't very many snaps total. I mean, it all is. And if you get 5 sacks in there, that changes the numbers a little bit. I didn't think that Coach Petrino was ever in rhythm except for a brief period in the third quarter.
Yeah, that third quarter we had it going on for a little bit.
But it's just, I think when he gets in rhythm, and you could say the same thing about Sarkisian. He didn't have a rhythm to the game. In fact, he said it after the game. And I think with play callers, that rhythm factor is huge. And you say, well, what makes a good play caller when they get in rhythm? And that they have a feel for, okay, the defense is doing this and we'll do that. I mean, but you got to stay out there a little bit to get the feel. All right, we've shown them this play 2 plays ago. Now we can run this play. I think it all goes together.
Where do you put after watching it? And I wasn't the biggest fan of Carson Beck before we came into the season. But where do you put Quinn Ewers when it's talking about going to that next level, playing on Sundays? I think he's either the first or second best pro prospect quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, what he does in the management of the offense, in the throws that he makes. Let's just talk about what we saw 2 weeks ago before the last quarterback. He's not Jackson Dart on the deep ball. Everything else, he's got great touch and great feel for the game. But I saw about 4 or 5 chances for deep balls, and he didn't hit any of them. And we saw Dart hit every one of them, 2 weeks before that. And I don't think that he can lead them to a national championship. I don't think he's a difference maker. And I don't see them with a great running back that's a difference maker either. So it's like, what are they going to do when they have to win, back-to-back championship games or say they're playing in the SEC championship, and then they got 2 more championship games. I don't think he's a guy that's going to put you on a run against great defense. He didn't do that against Georgia. And I don't know what other measuring stick that we have for them this year.
Well, they got a championship level defense, and I feel like we've seen maybe 4 of those this year, just Arkansas alone. A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas. I'd put, I don't know, there was something about the Ole Miss pass rush and the Texas pass rush that stood out from the others. Who do you think is the best defense Arkansas has played this year? Because they played some really darn good ones.
Yeah, I tend to say Texas A&M. And I just think they have a couple of extraordinary guys in their front that you can't handle. Skirton to be one of them. And I like what Texas has. And maybe, just maybe, I won't want to give them any props. Just maybe.
That's legit too. And all 4 of those teams are not making the playoff 12, and good chance just because of it's A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas. They're probably going to end up being 2 of those 4 teams that miss out on it. Your thing about Jackson, Matt, he ran 11 times, 5 of them on the touchdown drive in the third quarter. When it was, that looked like he really had developed a rhythm there. You could hear Sam afterwards saying we should have gotten him in the game more. But I think they were just cautious about it. But then on the other hand, you wonder why you're not running Dubinion as much, because it looked like he was running the ball too.
I thought both running backs had quality performances. I thought they hit the holes. They read the but it just still comes down to being more efficient on offense and not avoiding lost yardage plays with your quarterback. And I don't whether he made the wrong reads on some of those RPO plays. I'm not sure. It's a complicated, quick thing. And I think sometimes the defense can trick you into reads. They show you something, and that's not what you're going to get. So I don't think it's as easy as just saying, hey, he's not a good decision maker. Sometimes I think it's really hard.
877-377-6963 if you want to touch on anything about that. All of Clay's appearances on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com are brought to you by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. You know the natural state is the natural place to hunt, but before you can join the state's time-honored tradition, you got to have your Arkansas hunting license. It'll help ensure future generations enjoy the hunt as much as you do. You can buy your license at huntnatural.com. Halftime back after this break.
This is halftime. Don't miss Hungry Action after every football game. Brought to you by Bud Light. Also presented by Black Hills Energy.
Matt, is it that simple? Is it just they got to get better players, or do you see some coaching issues too?
We have some talent on this team, that's for sure. It was just something that happened early where we got a fourth down stop, and then all of a sudden they get a turnover touchdown, and it just kind of ballooned in the second quarter.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
To $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Get ready for the biggest sporting event of the year in the Arklahoma area. Modern Gun Deer Season 2024 and Jelco Outdoors has everything you need to have a great hunt. Hunting clothing and boots, rifles, ammo, tree stands, ground blinds, cover sets, feeders, knives, rangefinders, and everything you need for all the family to have a great deer season. Jelco wishes all the hunters good luck and safe hunting from your friends at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes. Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long? Oh, you got me again. I'm gonna order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow. That's a lot of food. You taking a friend? No, sir. I'm gonna use it as bait. Pizza as bait for fishing? Yes'm. The catfish love 'em. Some Jim's Razorback pizza. They do? Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose. Bacon? Never would have thunk it. Yup, and they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey! Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was busy underwater,
seeing how long I could hold my breath. Drowning flower caught my eye and I had to come on up for air. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you have to be so condescending. I still see the same things I used to see. I'm a little shady on my history.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I've got Clay Henry, of course, with us as well, the one and only, writing now at Hogs Sports Network. And Major League Baseball award week continues. Yesterday, I love the managers of the year. Pat Murphy, first-year manager. I know he was an interim manager with the Padres. This is the first time it was really his team. They're both first-year skippers. With Cleveland, this is nuts. Stephen Vogt went 2 years playing from 70 games for the A's to winning Manager of the Year at age 40 in his first year as a skipper with Cleveland. That's a little bit of the Joe Girardi, for those who remember. Girardi's first managerial job came 3 years after his final year playing, and it was actually a losing record with the Marlins. He won Manager of the Year, and then he was fired. So there's more to do with the goofy owner than anything else. I don't think Stephen Vogt's getting fired anytime soon, but I thought that was really cool. All right, Clay, I wanted to bring this up with you. There is a new university system president. I don't know if he's been installed yet, but he's been chosen.
No, I think they still got a little work to do there. Yeah.
Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Jay Silveria, who comes from Texas A&M, where he was the Associate VP and Executive Director, also was formerly the Superintendent at the United States Air Force Academy. So it's a really cool-sounding choice. What sort of effect can this have on Arkansas athletics?
Oh, I don't know that that's the system president is a huge deal. I mean, I think that he works for the board of trustees. I mean, that's his job, and I checked with Tim Horton today, who coaches at the Air Force, and he wasn't there during the time that General Silveri, is that how you say it? Silveria,
I think.
Silveria. He was superintendent for a while at the Air Force, and Tim wasn't there, but the rest of the coaches on that staff were, and they say he is wonderful for athletics. He is wonderful. I mean, loves football. The coaches were big fans of the general. That's what they called him, the general. And he was not in College Station. He was he worked out of Washington D.C.
right?
for their Bush. They called it their Bush Fellowship. It's a unusual part that he So his brush with academia is really non-existent, other than he ran the Air Force Academy. But hey, if he can fly jets, I'm for it. We'll have him do a flyover at some point during his tenure.
But as far as there's more of a direct effect on who's on the board of trustees than it is and who the system president is.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're the policy making guys, and he works for. He gets his marching orders, so to speak, or flying orders for him from the board, and it's balancing budget for all of those colleges and all those employees. That's what he has to make sure that he's able to explain to the board where the money's going, how it's being spent.
When it comes time for who answers to who on campus in Fayetteville, it's the chancellor. Does that have more of a direct effect?
That's true, but it's still, if there's an important decision for a chancellor, something really that's out there, it's probably coming across the board of trustees in their meetings. So they're going to decide important things like that.
Chris texted and he says, "I hope he's an NIL guru." But also earlier
That's
today,
not going to be his job. No,
right? That's not his job. But I wonder if the influence of NIL dims a little bit with the coming House settlement and revenue share, and maybe more than anything,
Boy, I
the
hope
idea
so.
of the third party that is going to be making sure that what you sign for with your NIL deal is actually something you follow through with, and that these aren't just no-show jobs. And I don't know if this does away with collectives or not, but it does. This is something that Sam was talking about on the teleconference today, that he thinks with revenue share coming next year, that it does level the playing field a little bit. So we've been talking about NIL being the driving force behind college sports for the last 2 years. It feels like that could change somewhat in the next 10 months or so.
Bill, I think everybody except the athletes hope that's the case. I think that the athletes are like, more money, the better. And NIL is something that they really, the top end players have really benefited from, but not the rank and file, not the entire team. It's been less than that. But the revenue sharing should change that. That there should be larger checks for, the backup left guard, so to speak. I mean, there should be a balance to what they're getting.
But then I kind of wonder if that means we're back to stuffing $20,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is in a McDonald's bag and handing it to somebody. Just doing it all like the collectives. They just end up going into dark mode or something. That they find a way around this through the way that it used to be.
You're
which
right.
Was, in our mind,
we don't
cheating.
know. We don't know. Yeah, the cheaters will cheat, and as we can tell, they've all got their programs in line. They've got boosters giving them money, so they know who the boosters are. They know who will give it to them, and we'll see. Or does it all start to channel more naturally into their foundation, and the athletic department gets to spend it where they need it, in facilities and revenue sharing?
I just also wonder, what happens with these collectives, and there's so much pushing towards donate to Arkansas Edge. We need this, we need that. You get the casinos fighting about it and everything, and then all of a sudden that's just supposed to go under the table. All of a sudden that's just supposed to, all the donors that have ponied up $50 a month or $100 a month, or those who have more money that are throwing in, a few $1,000 or whatever situation, like the John Tyson thing. Would that be legal at that point? It's like, I don't know the answers to this. It's another paradigm shift for college sports when we already had one 2 years ago.
I think that it's all still yet to play out. I mean, your questions are all legit, Phil. I wished I could answer them, but there was a question mark in about 4 things that you said there, and I can't answer any of them.
It's okay. We won't get any answers.
No, there are no answers.
Yeah. No, there are no. It's wait and see. It's like, okay, let's see how this all shakes out. And then if we don't like it, maybe we'll try to change it all over again. But this is the courts that are making the decision about this.
We had Coach Hatfield on last week on Friday, kind of talk about Texas, but I kind of hijacked it and asked a lot of different things. And one of it was NIL and what he thought of it. And he goes, well, he obviously he didn't answer the question directly, which that's a good way to do it if you don't want to. But he did say what he would do if he was in charge, that he said he would get the right people in a room and we'd just get it settled. And he says I don't think he feels like the right people have been in the room together that can settle it.
I'm with you, Clay. I don't think they have the right people either. I mean, they probably got the right people up there, but I don't know that they've been doing it.
Well, I think that the right people are not people at the NCAA. It's going to have to be, I'd say, all the conference commissioners, the ADs. I mean, they have to present something that the courts are going to accept, and it has to be different than what's going on now.
I was going to say, otherwise it's lawyers and judges, and so. I don't know how steep they are in college sports necessarily, though. If you're representing somebody in this House settlement,
well,
and the other things that are part of it, you better have a good understanding of the finances of college sports.
I'd probably send Woody Bassett. That's the lawyer I'd send.
Who's he?
He's a Fayetteville attorney. Yep, my
must
personal
be a really
attorney.
Good one.
Yeah,
must
he's
be
good.
A really good one then.
Yep.
They got great specials at Fish City Grill in Rogers for the rest of the month. They got about a little less than 2 weeks to enjoy it. Cilantro lime shrimp tacos. You get 18 blackened shrimp coated with cilantro lime vinaigrette, topped with jalapeno guacamole, sprinkled with cheddar jack cheese, lemon, lettuce, tomato, and pico de gallo. There's no lemon on it. Seared Texas redfish, seared to perfection, topped with Thanksgiving oyster dressing, warm winter herb butter blanc. That's at Fish City Grill. Find them at 2003 South Bellevue Road in Rogers. Call 479-636-8833, and you can pick up your Fish City favorites for curbside, or they'll deliver it. You can go online to fishcitygrill.com. Our number at halftime is 877-377-6963. More right after the break.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It's that time of year, jackpot season. Play the new $1 Million Jackpot Scratch-Off ticket from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. You might just, win one. It's the biggest instant prize of the year, and that's just the icing on the cake. There's more than $50 million in prizes out there waiting for a winner. Be that winner. Try the new $1 Million Jackpot ticket in stores now at a lottery retailer near you. Happy jackpot season. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
You're a man with a plan.
I know.
You'll propose to her on that family trip in front of everyone. Brilliant.
I know.
You know the trip is only a month away.
But I don't have a ring.
Luckily, there's GageDiamonds.com with engagement rings in every style for every budget with certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and moissanite.
Can I finance it?
Gage lets you buy the ring today and pay for it over time with our no credit needed financing.
Brilliant.
Yes, we are. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagements. Middle name.
Exclusions apply.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
This is Halftime.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Do you want to do something unconventional this holiday season? Hey, Ty Richardson for Neumeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, where they are catering anything that they have on their menu at the Rib Room. Take advantage of incredible ribs, smoked wings, tamales, barbecue, and more. Call them at 479-494-7427. Stop in and see Joe, Linda, and their entire team at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The Neumeyers wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling store is now open at 942 Fort Street, just minutes from anywhere in eastern Fort Smith and Chaffee Crossing. Get these red hot buys at all 5 Yeager's locations. Save $100 on a Blackstone griddle, now only $249. And save $200 on a Traeger Pro 34 wood pellet grill for only $499. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Memories and why she's on his mind once again. The same old stew, the same old food. Played by the rules but didn't win. It's hard, he can't lose. He tried forgetting, but he knows it's no use. He's got a blue memory. It won't let him see that she walked out the door. He's got a blue.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Been doing halftime here for a little more than 6 years, and during that time, I've lost at least a couple of bets. And there was one time I said I would do something if the baseball teams didn't score 10 runs in a game. That would have been in the Stillwater Regional in 2022, and I would eat a shoe. Thankfully, the bakers at Harp's Bakery brought me a cake shoe, so I could actually follow through with that. Otherwise, I lost the college football picks with Ty the first year we were doing the show, and I had to do a polar plunge in Beaver Lake. That's the coldest I've ever been.
You did it?
Did y'all film? I'd like to see Phil Elson jump in the cold. Did y'all film that? Yeah,
I got a video of this.
Okay, all right. Now, did you go shirtless, or did you just were you skivvies, or what'd you jump in at?
No, nobody needs to see my nipples be that hard. So
because you
I
got to
actually
take your
had a shirt on.
Okay, I was going to say you take your shirt off to jump in, and then you put the shirt on after you get out. But you had your own way.
It was an amateur move on my part, Matt, because I'd never done it before, and I'll never do it again. But if I do, I will take your advice.
It's a one-time thing.
That is a one-time only.
There's not a lot of people to look around to find coaches for that, Phil.
No, and
nobody says no. I won't do that.
Those who are people that I would say are coaches for that live in Alaska.
Yeah.
Or they'll be the ones that are sitting first row for Notre Dame and Alabama in South Bend outdoors in -4 degrees on December 21st. That's who those people will be. Heck, they might as well. Are there any football stadiums with a pool in it? Might as well move it over to Notre Dame Stadium. Just put it there for the playoff game. It'll be really fun to watch people skating on it. My whole point is that this is a show where you pay up your bets. Brian is with us here. Brian, have you paid up Ty yet?
Hello?
Crickets.
Brian, have you paid your bill to Ty Richardson yet for losing a bet on Saturday in the Texas football game?
Oh, no, I haven't yet. Been coming to
Okay, that's great. Call back when you do. 877-377-6963. That's how it's going to operate.
Well handled right there.
That is how it's going to operate.
Can't call up the radio show and then run your mouth talking about this and then not being a man of your word. So whenever you pay Ty, whenever you do what you said, then we'll come on back on.
I don't remember how much it was, but it was enough. Even if it was $1 freaking dollar.
It's just how we operate. We're
100 burger.
We're handshake type of people. If I tell you something, that's the type of people we are. We're men of our words.
Yeah, that's one of the things that my wife and I talk about a lot. You say you're going to do something, you do it.
That's right.
Promise my daughters something, man. You follow through, man. You just do it. And things may change, and you say, well, I didn't know about this or this. You go back and you do what you say you're going to do every time.
he called in on Monday, and you know, remember when they made the playoff the year before last year, he called in, did a whole celebration and everything, and he was, you know, laughing and all of that, and be like, come on in, you've been calling the show and everything, it's all fine, but until you Welsh on a bet with one of our own people on our station here, no matter what we might think about him every once in a while, and by the way, I absolutely love Ty.
I love Ty.
I love Ty.
He's our Ty.
But
That's right.
Even if I didn't, you'd have to get the same treatment. Though I would have to say this was Matt Jones's idea. Because I'm way too nice.
There was too many. Well, it's a collaborative effort, man. There's nothing. This isn't ever just me. We run things by, but you got about 18 text messages after that on the fan thing.
That's what it's all about, right? The right reaction. Call back again. Now there are these things where you can literally send money from one person to another like that. It's not that difficult these days. You don't have to put it in the mail. You don't have to do a COD. You can just get on your phone and send the dude a C note, and then 877-377-6963. All seems to fit for me. All right.
That's called Venmo. I've never done that.
It is. There's all sorts of other ways you can do it. You can do Apple Pay. You can Zelle money.
Oh, I've done some of
Venmo, I
that.
think, is the way most people do. But Apple Pay will work fine. I'm sure Brian's got some kind of, I don't know. He might have a carrier pigeon that can take $100 to Ty. It's not that far away. He said he's from Fort Smith. I heard somebody I remember one of the shows earlier this morning say that he sat behind Brian at a Southside football game last weekend. So carrier pigeon knows where ESPN Arkansas is located too. It'll work just fine. All right. So what else can I move on to here? Because I'm sure Brian was going to bring something up about Texas and everything, and I'm just here to tell you that I don't think Texas is going to win a national championship.
Do you think? And speaking of Texas, we just saw them play, and this is just my just watching them and my view of Texas. They want to beat you on the outsides. They want it to be a track meet.
It's sideline to sideline.
Yeah,
what their offense is.
And
yeah.
so, and that's why I think Georgia handled it. So when Texas gets into the playoff 12, which I think they will, and I think Texas can win the national championship, that's the recipe to beat them. So there are a handful of teams that are going to be physical and stop them. And because if you try to get in a track meet with them, like Oregon, like Texas, Oregon, that would be a great game. It'd be 47-48 type of game. But for the most part, it's going to be tough on Texas.
Yeah, I did not really think that Texas had a shot against Georgia. They got the interception and got that score and got everybody's excited, but they were dominated the rest of the game. But when they had the momentum, Georgia flipped it on them, and it just was kind of a condemning look to me. Georgia's got better players than Texas, and that's simple evaluation. And I like Beck better than I do Ewers.
Now, what about the way Ole Miss uses the field? Because they use the middle, they use the sidelines, they use deep over the middle, they use deep on the side. They're a team that uses sideline
the most
to
complete
sideline.
team we've seen.
And that's where I was going. I think Ole Miss right now is the most complete team on both sides of the ball. It's just there's no guarantee they're going to make it in. They have, outside of, so I'd say the Northern Illinois win over Notre Dame. That's the worst loss of any team that's competing right now for the playoffs. Kentucky over Ole Miss might be second. Maybe Georgia Tech against Miami.
Well, the thing, no, you're
Arkansas
right.
over Tennessee is
there's
a funny one too.
Well,
yeah.
Phil, you're exactly right. The reason why is it was in Oxford. It wasn't in Lexington. So you're exact. They went into Von Hemingway, and that if it would have been in like Alabama lost in Nashville, I think there's a little bit to say when you lose a game.
They
like
lost
that.
in Knoxville too.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's right. It's the same with so then Georgia's win against Texas, shouldn't that be weighted differently then? I mean, that's a win in Austin, right?
Right. Yeah. Like
I
think if
I
Oregon
think it
would have
is with the
played,
committee. I think it is.
I think
yeah.
if Oregon would have played Ohio State and Columbus, I think Ohio State would have got them. The fact that they had them in Eugene, I think, kind of gave them the edge.
Yeah. Well, we had an Ole Miss fan text in earlier, and he said, "Look, you are what your record says you are, and that's fine. But that loss to Kentucky may be the thing that knocks them out. I mean, I don't think there's a guarantee Ole Miss is going to get in." at 9. You know, what happens if A&M beats Texas, and then you have Ole Miss and A&M both with 2 losses, A&M losing to a couple of good teams, Ole Miss losing to one good team and one bad team, and Texas A&M winning over Texas would be over the number 3 team in the country. But do they really get the chance to make 6 or 7 jumps in the poll? I don't know how you do that.
Well, you need.
I haven't seen anybody make those kind of jumps. I've seen teams drop 7 or 9 spots, not gain 7 or 9 spots.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Texas A&M has the offense without their running back. I'm not sure they have the offense. I think they're kind of limping in. They've been changing quarterbacks. I mean, there's something unstable about that team. They're really talented in certain places, but you can't have a revolving door at quarterback.
There's got to be a reason that they're ranked where they are, behind Tennessee.
Yeah,
I mean, Tennessee doesn't have the best quarterback play, but they've stuck with the same guy. Got to be the same, 2 losses. Just a matter of, we saw this last year with Florida State. If you're not, wasn't a matter of being settled at quarterback. If you don't have your guy at quarterback, they're going to view you differently.
Clay, have you seen Indiana play this year? What is your
just snippets?
What do you
of it.
think is going to happen this Saturday?
Now, here's what I can tell you about what I've seen of Indiana. Every single time that I watched them, it was against a team that I didn't have any respect for. It's okay, they're doing what they should do, but they can score some points, and they have some talent in the offensive backfield and wide receiver. They can score some points, but I don't know that they can stop a good team because we haven't seen that. But I don't know that I would disqualify them because of the schedule. I think if they're undefeated in the Big Ten, they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Well, and it's also, their strength of record, I saw on ESPN, is ranked really high because it's not just that they're undefeated, it's the margin of victory is so large that it's viewed differently than...
They were butt whippings, yeah.
So what do you think about having this Oregon-Ohio State? So if Ohio State beats Indiana and you get Oregon-Ohio State rematch, do you think they weight that more than they do the regular season game? Well, because obviously you get a bye if you win that, right? Yeah, you get a bye if you win.
Yeah, and the whole thing about the championship games, it's the last picture that you get, and I think it is weighted heavily. It's the look that you get. And with Florida State, the look that you got late in the season, that's what you remember the most. And they were penalized because they were inept on offense at the end of the year. If something happens and you get a bad look for one of those teams, there's a runaway, and you say, well, they're not fit for the playoffs if they lost 48-7 in a championship game, and I think then you're done.
877-377-6963 if you want to hit on that. We got a break here in a moment. First reminder about Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Been doing it for over 70 years and 4 generations, where I-40 and I-49 come together right beside the Cracker Barrel. Your family gets the best experience at Crabtree RV when you're choosing the RV for your family's adventures. Got everything you need in between, including the service and parts department. They're also online at crabtreerv.com. Back to wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for a limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I don't know if you guys heard about this major trade that was executed not by any team in professional sports, but by media organizations. ESPN and TNT have executed a sports media trade, which I don't know if I've heard about anything like this before. Inside the NBA moves to ESPN. It'll still be produced by TNT, but will be broadcast on ESPN via a license agreement. ESPN, therefore, has traded 13 Big 12 football games and 15 Big 12 basketball games to TNT. No money is being exchanged in this trade at all. It is just the rights of these shows. Well, a show which inside the NBA is about as good as it gets for a pregame, and then some Big 12 stuff. And there's this growing partnership between ESPN and Turner because Turner is airing some ESPN telecasts of first-round college football playoff games. But I never would have thought that getting a premier pregame show for the NBA would have gotten you 28 Big 12 sporting events. I guess they view it as somewhat equal, but I did find it kind of interesting because I don't really hear about media trades like this. Maybe this is the first time it's ever happened.
I don't know that I've seen that. I mean, that's it would have to have been behind the scenes, and we didn't know that, okay, they've agreed to let something go because they knew that who was going to pick it up, and it's like, well, we'll let you have something too. They got to know how much advertising is involved because that's what it's about. And what kind of advertising did they give up when they gave the college games, and what kind of advertising did they get with the NBA? It's been my opinion over the last 10 years that the NBA has gotten better and there's more good teams. The wealth is spread out, and I don't think I saw that coming. I thought you've got the Celtics, or then you've got the Golden State Warriors. You had two teams that you could say they're going to be the teams that play at the end. I can't tell you who that's going to be right now. I mean, it just looks like there's a lot more parity, and the NBA looks like a better league than it did to me 10 years ago.
Well, I think if barring an injury, the Celtics will be representing the Eastern Conference in the finals this year. I still think that collection of guards they have of White, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday's the best. He's still an all defensive. And then of course the dude Jason Tatum. So I'm with you though. But the West, Clay, it could be the Clippers, it could be the Nuggets, it could be the Suns. It could be the Thunder, it could be Golden State. The West is wide open.
I don't think ESPN wanted to be the organization that killed inside the NBA with all the love that it gets. And when it felt like it was a swan song, I mean, the outcry about it, I don't think ESPN wanted to be portrayed like that. And so they let it live, and they're going to bring it onto their airwaves. It's not airwaves. It's cable. We move into hour number 3 of halftime right after this.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, much cooler. A high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s with a strong west-northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Mainly clear, we settle back into the upper 30s overnight, and Thursday, lots of sunshine, low 50s north, low 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, ready to serve. You're listening to ESPN 95.3. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
If I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Into our third hour on halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones. We have the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry from Hogs Sports Network joining us here for our last hour as well. And C45 Colton Little taking over in the producer's chair. I need the huminated caffeine because I've been standing the entire show. You have too, Matt. You try to match me every time I stand. You're going to stand too.
Well, it is a competition at every. Even if people don't know they're competing, it's competitors compete. But I've been
keeping score.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to be a little more active and just trying to stand up for the 3 hours of this show, even if I'm leaning on something instead of sitting down, because I sit a lot.
So all right, now this is a way that radio hosts who are on the same program can compete. How do media members, like writers, compete? Clay, is there a competition to see who can finish their story first, who can finish their story last, who asks the best questions at press conferences, thumb wrestling, sitting next to each other at a football game? How does it happen?
Well, it's not about who finishes first. It's about who kicks the other one's ass.
So how do you measure that in writing, or is it just actually like a physical battle?
Well, I'm undefeated, so I don't really know.
Good answer. Because nobody seriously would think
joking,
challenging you to begin with.
Brick, you just killed someone with a trident. You might want to lay low for a little bit.
Well, I think there is competition in everything that you do, and my goal always was not to embarrass my father. And I mean that sounds like, well, what do you mean? It's like his name in sports writing is way up there, and I just didn't want to ever write anything that he would not be proud of. So that was my goal, so I wasn't competing against others. I was competing against the standard that our family had.
But I think that's look, if you go into every day thinking to yourself, I don't want to embarrass my father today, you're probably going to be pretty good in life. That's a good goal to have.
When I realized, and I mean, I did not set out my life to be a sports writer. I mean, I thought I was going to work in a golf pro shop like my Uncle Bill did, and I'm playing college golf, and all at once I realized, you know what? The thing that I know best, and I'm about to get married, I better figure out something to get a good paycheck. And then it dawned on me that I was going in the same profession as my dad. And 3 years in Conway and then 14 years in Tulsa, but it was still my goal every day is to hit that standard. And not sure I did it very much, but that was the goal.
That's for this show. I don't know. I think I've told Phil, but every time you're competing, but I always try to talk where you don't have to worry about getting in trouble. I always try to talk like my mom's listening. if you wouldn't say it
There
in
you
front of
go.
your mom, don't say it on the radio.
There you go. Yeah, it's same kind of deal. I mean, it's
And then
like
every once in a while, somebody will hear something that wasn't said, and you'll get in. They'll be upset at you anyway.
It is weird how people remember stuff that it's like nobody ever said that, but okay.
Yeah, sometimes we hear the things that we want to hear. I wanted to move over to you saw this situation with the Jets now, and it kind of hit me. What Woody Johnson is doing with the Jets is exactly what Dallas Cowboys fans want Jerry Jones to do with the Cowboys. Get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the coach, get rid of the coordinator, fire the general manager.
I don't know if you're going to fire the GM though.
There you go. That's the main difference here. He's got to take himself out of the general manager in that case. So, but I mean, that is because this is it for Rodgers, right? Like,
I
this
think
is going to be
his
it for
last
him.
year. I really do. I don't know if because if they're going to go in a new direction, are you going to go tie yourself? Because then it's kind of a one and done. Are you going to go get Pete Carroll and say come in for 1 year? Because maybe it's something with the Russell Wilson thing. He goes to Denver, doesn't really do his thing, gets to Pittsburgh. It's just a change of an environment, and now he's having a lot of success.
But it's just kind of like, Clay, look at this. It's been how long ago did Salah get fired? Was it 4 or 5 weeks ago? They haven't won a game. They
just got beat by the Colts at home.
When you make these kind of moves in season, it doesn't go well. If the players are looking around, it's like, okay, who are we playing for? What are we playing for? I mean, is there? It's. Let's talk about the Cowboys in those instances. All right, what if they made those changes? How would it change their team? They don't have a quarterback. They don't have any wide receivers. They don't have playmakers on defense. And so you can blame that on Jerry Jones, but any kind of moves that you make right now are not going to fix that. You're still with the same team. And then what do? Now, here's the overriding issue with the Cowboys. And you think, okay, Jerry's going to step down from being the general manager. Well, then it's going to be Steven.
I do think CeeDee Lamb's a top 10 receiver. But,
Well, I mean, but
I'm
he's
with
not-
you on the other position.
They're doubling him and taking him out of
I'm with you,
games.
Clay.
and
No, I'm on. I got you.
And it looks like his spirit is broken.
He
to
needs
me.
help, and that's what I've been saying. You got if you just have
He
one
knows it.
receiver, then they're gonna double it. They're gonna roll coverage. That's because they don't. Nobody else scares
Yeah,
you on
and
that.
as soon as you catch it, two guys are going to hit you,
Mm-hmm.
and your ribs are going to be you're miserable. It has to be a team deal, and they've had some key injuries, but I wondered. People say, well, in off season he should have gotten more players. With what? He knows how much money he's got. If you spend it in the wrong places, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a team that lacks some players. Everybody wanted him to sign Dak. I guess they did, and everybody wanted him to sign Ezekiel. And all the top people in finances with the NFL say don't spend money on running backs.
Well,
Unless
you
you're Baltimore.
You end up making firings like this or Philadelphia. But I guess that was different because that was a trade. But isn't that interesting though that two of the players that may end up getting the most MVP votes for at that position at running back are guys that were moving over from other teams that either weren't going to pay him what they thought they were worth or didn't want him anymore and does not want Derrick Henry any longer. I can't quite understand that.
Yeah, but the one of the problems with that, with a running back with some, it's a little long in the tooth, is you might get him, you might have him for a year, but signing a big contract for him is probably not in your best interest for most teams. Maybe for Baltimore, that's the last piece. That was probably the last piece for the 49ers when they brought McCaffrey. And they spent the money for him. But you've got a shelf life if you're running back.
But it's so what Johnson's doing with the Jets, that's an owner that just a couple of months ago said this is the best collection of talent we've had since I've been the owner. So who's that on? Wouldn't that be on the general manager for actually collecting this talent together? But I think he was trying to act a little more like a GM, the owner in this case. He's giving their fans the red meat that they're craving. It's not going to help them right now. I mean, if you thought firing the head coach was going to spark them, they haven't won a game since. It's worked in a couple of instances. I can't remember it working in football. It's worked in
Yeah.
baseball or
You
basketball.
just
a
can't
couple of
fire the
times.
players at the NFL.
Right.
That's the so when you say give them some red meat, I mean you can't fire those players and bring guys off the taxi squad or off waivers or off the bone pile. I used to call it the bone pile is the guys that they're not
bone
with
pile.
anybody. Yeah,
That did not catch on though, Clay. But I like the bone pile.
bone pile. The bone pile. They're just out there in Never Land. You go find a player that's not with anybody. They got them off the bone pile.
You just find like a femur sticking around somewhere out there or something. Is that what it is?
Mainly it's toes. Appendages. Yeah.
877-377-6963 to get with us here. Dan says if they were going to spend money on running backs, it could have been Derrick Henry. JT, who is as dyed in the wool of a Cowboys fan as I know, says not everyone wanted Dak and Zeke. He's been begging for. Yeah, I know. When I'm thinking like the Dallas Cowboy fan, JT, I'm thinking you. I'm thinking you and C unit, C Cowboy. In that case,
and Dudley.
Yeah, that's right. And Dudley. Man,
I
got.
don't think he's not wearing his Cowboys gear anymore. It's all Celtics right now.
Well, even if it would be a paper bag, it's paper bag season in the NFL now.
He's going against the grain, which I still have value in a running back, but he wants Yenti from Boise State in the first round. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the difference in there is that he's not, his legs aren't worn out, or his shoulders or his ribs, all that. Derrick Henry and Ezekiel, those guys, they're long in the tooth. Now, I don't know that Henry's suspect in any way, so I'm not going to.
Well, it's like Christian McCaffrey, Clay. I'm with you. Those running backs, you should see him. I know you have.
It takes
Maurice
one wrong
Jones-Drew
step.
and Fred Taylor. They get done with the game. They got an ice pack on their shoulders, both their shoulders, 2 ice packs on both their knees, ice packs on their elbows, ice packs on. They're walking out of the locker room like a penguin because they got ice on. I mean, it's a car collision. And you just don't know. It's like if you own a motorcycle, you just don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
The clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm. I like Pittsburgh's running back, Najee Harris, Deuce. Dude's
he's been running. He's run a lot harder this year.
He's his wiggle. That's what I mean. Oh my goodness, he's nice.
Carrying tacklers with him too. Jalen Warren, I like him as well. It's a good group. Good. Hey, I think that might be a team that could go very far in the playoffs, but that also might just be the Steeler fan in.
They got top 3 defense,
and they don't have to score a lot of points. That's the nice aspect of what Mike Tomlin's going to have with that team. They're going to have some defense.
Man, I mean that's kind of Texas too, right? They're not going to need to score that many points. I don't think their offense is as good as advertised. I think it's good. Don't get me wrong. But I think that there's some defenses that can slow them down to the point where you're talking about playing a game that's in the low 20s. You don't need all that much at that point. Texas's defense is a championship-level defense. Right now, my question is, do they have that level offensively? Because Oregon does, Ohio State does, Alabama, I think, does. I still am a fan of Jalen Milroe. Certainly Ole Miss does, and I think Georgia does too.
Well, Georgia did
Tennessee,
it against
not
them.
so much.
Yeah, they did it against them with in their stadium at night when everything was against them. I mean, like things were falling out of the sky, and they still came back and won.
Hey, this Friday we are taking over Mock Legal Solutions. That's the Morning Rush, halftime, and Ruskin and Zach. We will all be live from Mock Legal Solutions, 3401 South 79th Street in Fort Smith. It's right off Rogers Avenue, and they'll have a new location coming soon to Sallisaw. Also, Mock Legal Solutions will be giving away 2 $100 Walmart gift cards, and one person walks away with a $250 Walmart gift card and a fully decorated Christmas tree. It's going to be free food, drinks as well. You can meet all of us at Mock Legal Solutions and meet Jackie Mock and her team, who are always in your corner with real advice and a reasonable price. Mock Legal Solutions handles family law cases. That includes divorce, custody, guardianships, wills, and estates. They're licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. They have a wealth of experience in personal injury law and assisting small business with various legal advice. You can go to hitthatline.com/mocklegal and register, or stop by this Friday for the two $100 Walmart gift cards, the $250 Walmart gift card, and a fully decorated Christmas tree. Halftime right back after this.
Nobody needs to see my nipples be that hard.
This is halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the Hawks standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari in Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
To $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, and onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Sounds like a scream. I don't know what you mean. Your witchcraft's all around me. Your ragged pagan scene. You tell me all the ways around my garden that you like. I float just like a bubble heading for the spine. All this world between the breasts of passenger and slave. You never make it out. pictures red.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us as well. You're on Halftime as we take you up towards 2 o'clock in Ruskin and Zach. Clay, and the projection for the bracket for the college football playoff yesterday, we would have first-round games in Columbus, Ohio, South Bend, Indiana, State College, Pennsylvania, and Bloomington, Indiana, exactly a month from today. Very good chance it's going to be sub-freezing.
Bring your thermals.
Right. It's not like you can't play football in that weather. They do it in the NFL. It's just, and this had to be something that the committee would have understood. It's just, I don't think they would have thought, and it's not like this is exactly how it's going to happen. It's just how it happens. What are there, 3 more polls to go? But it's just crazy. We have a postseason structure to where all the games that really matter are played either in warm weather or warm weather cities, I should say. It's not always warm in those places that time of the year, or indoors. But the first round games might be played in 28 degrees, which, I don't know, it's like, it could be entertaining. But is it really indicative of like who's best when you're playing in that kind of situation? So it just kind of caught my eye, because I know I've been in Bloomington, I've been in State College, been in Columbus. I haven't been to South Bend, but I know that may end up being the coldest of the cities right by the lake. It's just not great football weather.
Well, and you anticipate that at some point one of those venues is going to have snow, not just cold weather. And then you have a football game that's a mess. And I think it's fun to watch those games, but I would not want to have my season come down to how I'm able to handle the conditions as opposed to how I'm able to play the opponent that you're handed. And I think what we always know that things can be adjusted. They can't be adjusted this year, but they could pick out 4 domes to play first-round games, and 2 of them could be in the Midwest. It's not to say, you're always going to have some Big Ten teams in there. You're just going to. They're going to be 3 or 4 teams. So you can have a couple of dome stadiums, and whether it's Indianapolis or Detroit, or there's some others in that area that NFL teams, and figure it out. And I think the NFL teams would adjust a little bit, give you a date. They play conference championships in domes, so why can't they play the first round of the playoffs and just have some scattered around the country so that you have some flexibility?
Look at who would play in Columbus. And again, this is just in this under this poll. It isn't necessarily what it'll be like in 3 or 4 weeks. BYU traveling to Columbus, it gets plenty cold in Provo that time of the year, so I don't think it would affect them all that much. But you want to talk about, all right, SEC bias? They're sending Alabama to South Bend. They're sending Georgia to State College and Ole Miss to Bloomington.
I got all 3 SEC teams in those games.
So, yeah, there's some chuckles about that among Big Ten people and people in the Midwest in general, because I can't remember the first Midwest team to argue this, but they've never played bowl games in north of the Mason-Dixon line. I mean, there's a handful, right?
Yeah, well, like the Pinstripe,
but all
but those are all new bowls, and it's
all the significant games over the last 100 years. Bowl games have been in the South. Well, there was a reason why. They didn't have indoor stadiums back in those days, so they weren't going to have bowl games
Could you do like a flex scheduling where it's like we're either going to play, you give 2 days because it's so far out, and then you check the weather and it's like we're either going to play Friday night or Saturday night? Or do you think that's too much?
Well, I think they like to have it symmetrical, and that the teams have the same amount of rest between games.
Right,
so
right.
I think that's probably not what they want. That they're all.
I can tell you the players don't care. This is something that we're talking about as fans or whatever.
Cold weather doesn't bother them.
Not one of the single players care about where we're going to go play the game.
It's funny that you say that.
Now, if it gets Clay, it can be too cold. I'm not saying that. Like if it's in the negatives, but if it's 30 degrees and snowing, nobody cares. That's
might actually be fired up for it, right?
Just don't be a Michelin man.
I'll just go through history in late November games in Fayetteville, and I'll give you 2 different instances of teams that I thought just shut it down because they didn't like the cold. That LSU Arkansas game, the Arkansas won 17-0, and then there was
Ole Miss
really
a
good
couple years ago.
Yeah, there was a really good Texas A&M team, and this was back in the 70s. And I think Jackie Sherrill was the head coach, and they came in and had those big capes and coats on, and they had players that for special teams they just didn't come out. It's like hey, it's you. Oh, I don't want to take my coat off, and Jackie, it was 28-0, and there wasn't a whimper from Texas A&M during the game about wanting to play. You could just tell they did not want to play. That it was 34 degrees or whatever it was. And then there was I think it was the first Arkansas LSU game in Fayetteville. Joe Kynes was finishing up, and it snowed and was nasty. And LSU didn't. They had the better team, and they didn't even try. I mean, you could just tell. So now, maybe it's different if it's the playoffs, that you're jacked up because you're playing for something. And maybe those November games, the team from the South didn't want to be there. I think in the instance of Texas A&M and LSU a couple of times.
I could just picture like a controversy. Like I forget the year that this happened. Was it the year the Patriots went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Bears, where it's against Miami? There's this. The field is completely covered with snow, but yet they were allowed to bring out a snowplow for the game-winning field goal, and kicked on the turf. And it's like, well, all right, are we? Is that going to happen in a college football game? It's one of those controversial things. And the other aspect is 2 of these will be night games. The Friday game is a night game, and then there's 3 games on Saturday. Obviously, the third one is a night game, so it'll be even colder those days. And hey, one of my favorite moments in football history, and for me, it always goes back to the Steelers. It's when Bettis ran over your boy Brian Urlacher at the goal line in a driving snowstorm. So these are games that you end up remembering for very good reason. Ice Bowl, something like that. You may end up with something like that in the first round this year, and it's the kind of thing that you end up talking about until the end of time. Do you remember when? Do you remember when? Might not be all that comfortable for the people who were there, but they'll remember it too, as long as their brains don't freeze.
As long as you remember the cold. I just think you do. You'll never forget
You remember the Cotton Bowl? We were talking about that earlier when we played Oklahoma. That was one of the coldest games.
Yeah, I was going to say, Phil, you will never forget your ice bath.
No,
you won't
I don't.
that.
I meant to send Matt the video of it. There is video evidence of this that actually.
I don't want to see it.
I was clothed. Don't worry. There's no nudity in it whatsoever. But it's happened once. It's the only time it'll happen.
Did they give you a blanket as soon as you came out?
They didn't. But I got a towel the moment that I came out
okay.
from who was with me at that moment. So it helped to the point. But you know what? That towel didn't cover up my feet, and I thought I was going to lose a couple of toes.
Got to put toe caps on. That's the thing that's the veteran move right there. Is you get these little neoprene or their little toe caps. They just kind of about half. That's a lifesaver. That's. Mm-hmm.
Where were you 5 years and 9 months ago, Matt? I really could have used that information because
somewhere.
I'm not kidding.
He was somewhere warm.
I thought I was going to lose a couple of toes. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. We have our home stretch coming up right after the break.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today. and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Feeling stressed out and ready for a break? Unwind with the De-Stress for Less hot tub sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Melt away your stress with the world's best-selling hot tubs designed to rejuvenate your body and mind. The ultimate relaxation experience is now available at unbeatable pricing. Save up to $7,000. Plus, enjoy free local delivery, installation, and water testing. Treat yourself to pure relaxation with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. At Burton, we don't just sell hot tubs, we build long-term relationships.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Don't see the light inside my head now. I need to see you in my window. In a whisper, all I really want is you. What you do, lying in the rain with you. True, all I really want is you. What you do, sleeping outside the moon.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Boy, am I thankful I remember to have my reading glasses with me every time I do the show. The next time I go out for dinner, will somebody send me a text and remind me to take the reading glasses? Because I can never remember to do that. For the radio show, always. Go out to eat, never remember, and then I end up ordering things like I can see it. I only put these on because the lettering and numbers are a little smaller in the media guide. Andrew Armstrong, guys, and Clay Henry, of course, with us as well as we take you up to 2 o'clock. Andrew Armstrong, who represents 44% of wide receiver receptions, 61 catches. That right now ranks in a tie for 7th all-time in a single season at the University of Arkansas. Just needs 5 more to tie Traylon Burks and Jarius Wright for 2nd all-time.
Did we win?
Kobe Hamilton leads all-time with 90.
Oh, did we win enough games this year for him to be a first-team all-conference? Because I have not seen the dude at Auburn, but he didn't have anybody throwing him the ball. That dude's a beast. There's some speed on that Texas team, but as far as being a complete receiver, he's got to be a top 3 complete receiver in the SEC.
You know, you're looking at the
but did we win enough games?
Alabama, yeah.
Well, hold on here,
Alabama
guys.
wide receiver.
He leads the league in receiving yards per game. He is 2nd in receptions. The only thing he doesn't have are the touchdowns. But if you lead the league,
but nobody on our team, we can't score. We don't score a lot.
If you're one of 2 receivers in the league that are over 100 yards, and the other is Trey Harris, I think Armstrong should be first team.
I do too.
Trey Harris has missed a lot of games lately. He's going to have to play some before the end of the year to be a factor. I just did the Biletnikoff voting, and I had him in my top 10. I'm talking about Armstrong, but he didn't make it to the semifinals, I don't think. Maybe they haven't announced that yet, but I
haven't seen the announcement yet. I saw the Lombardi Trophy had their finalists.
Well, we've already had the top 3 vote too. That went in this week, so they haven't announced that. So, but he's not. He's the team has to do a little better, and he has to score more touchdowns. So when I vote in the Biletnikoff, I'll look at those stats all the way across, and that last one is touchdowns. And those guys that he's competing against for that award, and the same thing would go for first team all conference. You know, they have 9, 10, some of them as many as 13 touchdowns. That's a significant difference.
Guys, I mean, Rocket Sanders has more touchdown receptions than Armstrong.
So
he has 2 of them.
So they're not snapping the ball in the red zone very much. That's to his detriment. It's hard to, when all your chances at a touchdown are long plays, it's tough. And I think that everybody's saying we'll let somebody else beat us down here on the goal line. We're not going to turn that guy loose.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like he continues to lead the team in receptions and receiving yards and make some of the best catches that any receiver on this team has made all year. That back shoulder fade to him has been the best play that they've had all year long. I mean, it's been clockwork.
And he's taken some hits over the middle. I mean, he's done it all. He's shown me a lot as a wide receiver. Matt, how would you rate him for an NFL prospect?
I gotta see. That's a very good question. Will he play on Sundays? Yes, but if you're not a number 1 or a number 2 guy, you have to play special teams. What's he going to test at? Is he gonna run a 4.71 or is he going to run a 4.41? That's kind of the biggest thing that I would want to know. But the thing I love about him, Clay, is his competitiveness. That's going to translate. That's one of the first things they ask you, and that's one thing Jack Del Rio used to always say is you got to compete every day, and that's what Armstrong does when he's out there playing. Man, it's like he has a smile on his face. He's happy. He's playing. I mean, I love his attitude.
I loved some of his answers when you get to listen to him talk, and he's talking about, well, how does he get yards after catch, or what's he doing? He's like, man, I'm looking for green. I mean, I think green is symbolic too, right? If you do things after catch, you're going to get the green. It's not just finding the green.
I know. I remember when Chuck asked him that in the post-game interview, and I got the headset on, and you expect, well, something about the routes you're running, and how you and Talon work well together, and all those. Just look for grass.
It's
nice
and simple. Green grass. It was a good answer, I thought. It stuck. Obviously, it stuck with me.
Well, he's also right now 7th in receiving yards in a single season at Arkansas, and I mean, there's enough time left where he needs about 100.
He won't play in the bowl game, though.
I was just thinking
150 or so over the next 2 games may end up getting him to number 2, independent of whether or not he plays in a bowl game. But yeah, I think you're right too. Like that's the other thing you got to start wondering about is
if he runs good, Phil, he's a top 100 pick. I think we have 2 top 100 picks on this team, and Carmona might be later on. Clay, I know you like Carmona, but as far as this next year's draft, and I don't know where Sori's going. I hope Sori comes back, but Landon Jackson and Andrew Armstrong will both be top 100 picks. You don't play in the bowl game if you're a top 100 pick.
Yeah, I think that the scouts are really going to enjoy dissecting the tape from this last game because they saw Landon Jackson go against a first-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
And they went head-to-head, and there were a lot of stalemates. Now, at the very end of the game, they made some mileage going left. Landon wasn't always on the field for those plays. They were rotating linemen. But I think that Landon's tape of what he did against Banks is good for him, and then there were enough plays that Banks made against Jackson. It's good for him too. It's the competitive nature of that.
If there is a bowl game, and there should be, and Landon opts out, who's the next up at that position? I've liked what I've seen in flashes from Quincy Rhodes Jr.
Absolutely, he's a player, and then you've got Nico Dabier, and then I believe they're going to get Junkage back this week. And he's legit SEC talent at defensive end. So there's 3. I don't know who the 4th would be.
Well, you've seen Charlie Collins get a few opportunities here and there, but really not in the last maybe 2-3 games. But Rhodes has become part of the rotation. So I like he's long, he's tall. Looks like there's room for so a little muscular growth. He's fast. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Landon Jackson, his first
Gregory
year or so at Arkansas.
Could play out there too. He has played out there. He's been an inside guy the last 2 years. And he may be a little bit too heavy to rush the passer out there on the edge. But yeah, that defensive end has not been a problem this year. Those guys have played. They've played up to the expectations, in my opinion.
I feel for the most part, the defensive line has done well. Linebackers, I think, for the most part, have done well. I've been impressed, and it's nice to see that. I wasn't quite sure where Larry Worth III was going to play because he's been listed at so many different positions. The previous school, I think he was in the secondary. He's listed as a linebacker at Arkansas. Now he's safety, and that's a guy that was making a lot of plays against Texas.
Yeah, and when you say safety, I mean, they were playing 3 safeties. They were playing 5 back there, and and then they had a nickel. And that guy was he was in the box, and but he's a guy that you can say we're going to play man with him, and if the guy stays in, well then he doesn't have to leave the box. And it looked like and I thought by and large. Stewart and Clark did all right at cornerback in this game.
Well, we're looking in the off season, and this is some of the things that I wonder about how you put a team together. We don't know whether this house settlement gets accepted until March or April, so NIL still is going to be the driving factor in the first portal season. Maybe not in the second portal season when spring ball is complete. So. This is, at least the last chance over the table in legal terms to throw as much money as you possibly can at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That's where they've got to rebuild mostly, I think. And you're probably going to have to rebuild a little bit at wide receiver. Armstrong's gone. I don't know if Broden has eligibility any longer or Tesla either. I know there's young guys that they're interested in getting time, but I think you need to find somebody who's established too, and maybe not established, but someone who was capable and competent and productive at another school, maybe in the Big 12 or the ACC.
I would say at least 2 at wide receiver. I'd say you need 2 more. And I say that watching Oklahoma play, and they lost 3 or 4 wide receivers early in the year, and their team it went in the dumpster. They had no wide receivers, so you better go out there and make sure you got 10.
I guess I follow just like the way that the NFL teams, how they, you can see the money is in cornerback, receiver, tackle, quarterback. For the most part, I mean that's kind of that's the Well, yeah, that's the model that you're seeing. Rush end, that's right. That's the model we're seeing in the NFL. That's where seems to be where most college teams would be throwing most of the money. You got to pay them at all the positions, but do college teams view a running back the same way that an NFL team does?
A running back is 100% more valuable in college just because of the nature of the quarterback play isn't as good. And in the NFL, you need a running game, yes, but the quarterback's kind of the way they do it. But 100%, I think a running back is more valuable in college.
So I think that there are running backs out there on the bone pile that I talked about that you can go find, that you can still get use out of. So when you lose players during the year, you're not going to carry as many running backs. The same thing in college. You can't go find running backs during the year. Once you lose them, you're depleted. But by and large, it looks like everybody is spending on defensive linemen. That's an area where that is real, and both in recruiting in high school players, and there's just so many defensive tackles. They don't grow on trees. And good, fast, athletic big man. That is just like Corliss Williamson. Why was he worth so much to Arkansas basketball? There's just not that many good big men in any kind of sport. So you better keep spending money on defensive linemen.
And I think of just in some terms, I know it's a different sport, but I think of in like women's basketball, Arkansas lost Miriam Dowda to South Carolina. She would have been a starter at Arkansas. She's on the bench and not playing very much for South Carolina. But my assumption is she's going to make some money while she's there that she might not have had the chance to make at Arkansas. And it's you gotta. Can you find the right person that is coming here to play and make money at the same time? Can you get somebody inside the SEC too? Right? I mean, like
I didn't know
Arkansas
there were any
gets
people like that left.
Arkansas gets players, and this is football now. Arkansas gets players, football-wise, mostly that are from outside the SEC. We've had other instances of like Drew Sanders or Danico Slaughter this year, Addison Nichols. But if look at how Ole Miss rebuilt their defense, it was through mostly players that were on other SEC rosters. And that seems to be a different monetary level, I guess, or salary level than maybe
it is.
Where Arkansas is able to offer. So you're fighting uphill in that case too, because if you want wouldn't you want transfers that already have shown they're ready to play here? Sunterin Perkins, Chris Paul, Walter Nolan, Umanya Milan. I mean, all those guys were productive where they were previously. So you knew coming into the SEC they'd be fine, and they were. They've been great.
You scouted those players in high school, and you scouted them in college.
So it's. I mean, it ain't no level playing field right now. The bone pile. I got to remember that one. It's really, really good. Also really good is Andy's Frozen Custard. Anytime you are craving something sweet and delicious, Andy's has you covered. They have the greatest frozen treats around. Don't forget about the Pick 6 for football Saturdays or heck any other day. Works great for Thanksgiving as well. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. Andy's Frozen Custard is in Fort Smith, Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. It's Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through. Always ready to serve you. And back to wrap up halftime right after this.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is halftime.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for the Morning Rush. We're ecstatic to be at Mock Legal Solutions in Fort Smith Friday, November the 22nd, halftime. And Ruskin and Zach will also be there. They're celebrating Christmas early by giving away Walmart gift cards and a fully decorated Christmas tree. Come by and see the ESPN Arkansas team at 3401 South 79th Street in Fort Smith at Mock Legal Solutions. To register for the giveaway, go to hitthatline.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling store is now open at 942 Fort Street, just minutes from anywhere in eastern Fort Smith and Chaffee Crossing. Get these red-hot buys at all 5 Yeager's locations. Save $100 on a Blackstone griddle, now only $249. And save $200 on a Traeger Pro 34 wood pellet grill for only $499. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you, because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Hi everybody, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Your love is such a natural thing. Oh, the way of my hand. Your kiss, it's a wonderful thing. Oh, it's I wanna wait for your love. I wanna wait for your love. Say it again. I wanna wait for your love.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, good stuff today. I purposely didn't bring up very much of the attendance stuff at basketball. Arkansas,
it's a Monday versus team. It's against a team. It's no, but why would?
Here's the thing, though. This isn't the total answer, but as far as you know, if I would have wanted to go to that game Monday, I wasn't going anyway. I'd just been to Fayetteville on the weekend, and that's part of it. With some people, you're just there. You're going to turn right around, in a day, or you're going to stay over an extra night's hotel bill on Sunday for the Monday night game. But at about 5 o'clock, I looked at the weather, 4:30, and there was a line of storms. It was already out of Fayetteville.
I was driving in that storm. It was
So-
miserable.
So it went from north of Joplin, and it was 40 miles wide, and it was a long line that dipped below I-40. So anybody that was coming from the east had to drive through that thing, and there were all kinds of reports that it might develop into tornadoes. You know, we had things canceled at church Monday night because of the doom and gloom of all the weather forecast about, you know, it's going to be high wind, there's going to be damaging wind, you know, possibility of tornadoes. And I mean, you're just not going to head into a storm and drive. So that wasn't the reason 9,000 empty seats, but I bet it had to do with, you know, 2,500.
I just know that like Kentucky fans are going to point out every single empty seat. They're going to point out every single substitution by Cal that doesn't go right. It's tiring already. It's so tiring already, and we're falling into their trap, unfortunately, by making that such a topic. If it feels embarrassing because the crowd wasn't what Kentucky fans thought it should be, I do believe that there are reasons why it wasn't. Now, if it's a Saturday and it's Tennessee, and
if
there
it's
are
a
a lot of
conference
empty
game, yeah,
that's a different story.
Totally different story.
Every seat will be taken.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so small of the Kentucky fans, the way they act about this Arkansas
How are you
basketball
not thankful
program.
and gracious for what he did there and say, hey, man, we wish you well. We know things. I mean, a decade at an institution in today's world is like 30 years back in the 50s, you know, and be thankful for what he's done.
That's not their human nature.
I know, Clay. I don't
You
understand.
speak way too much logic, Matt.
It doesn't help you to be angry. You know, that's not going to help you.
Yeah, you know the stuff
petty
about,
or whatever. All
the
that.
stuff that, and we just played Texas, and I get a lot of mileage out of the we hate Texas stuff. I don't really hate them. I don't enjoy anything about them, but I don't let them control my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would think that's exactly the right way to go about it, and that's the way I think about, I don't know, just about everybody that's not here on the show at the moment. We've reached the end.
Thanks, guys.
Clay, it's always a pleasure. Matt, of course, looking forward to being next to you tomorrow in the studio.
We get,
Mock Legal Solutions Friday.
Yeah, put your order in. We get the Andes custard delivered tomorrow.
Ooh, getting frozen custard. That means we have to
Concrete.
have a
That's what they
segment
call
where
it,
we
right?
Actually eat on the air. Can't wait. Clay, I'll see you Saturday at the football game, okay?
Thank you. Enjoyed.
You got it. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly. And we're with you tomorrow to do this all over again. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. For Matt, for Clay, for Colton, for Christian, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, get better.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber.